Time to talk Maize and Blue with Maize and Brew. Michigan football talk here with Von Lozon from Maize and Brew, the SB Nation platform for Michigan football. A lot of comings and goings this time of year to talk about across the nation with NFL draft, rating teams, early entries, and of course, seniors moving on, personnel losses, but those early enrollees hitting campus more so often these days than ever before. And of course, the 2020 schedule has been released. Von, how you doing today?
Doing great, Mark. Always good to be on. How you doing?
I'm doing just great. Appreciate you coming on, and a lot to track here for a team that obviously produces a ton of NFL prospects. The offensive line has been a strength of the team just most recently. Jim Harbaugh's done a nice job of fortifying the offensive line as opposed to what it was a few years ago. That's being seen in NFL draft boards. On the defense, of course, the defense has been front and center since Harbaugh took over in 2015. And again, a number of significant losses there as well. And then, of course, there's Shea Patterson, too.
Yeah, a bunch of big losses here for Michigan going into 2020, notably at the quarterback position. They had that locked up to Shea Patterson. They've got a couple guys waiting in the wings who I think can be pretty effective quarterbacks. Joe Milton, Dylan McCaffrey, of course, going to be battling out in the summer. They're going to have to replace the Viper position for the first time since Jabril Peppers left. Khalid Hudson, the safety linebacker hybrid, he's going to be heading to the NFL as well. And like you already alluded to with the offensive line being a huge strength for Michigan this past season, they're going to have to replace four guys going from left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, with John Runyon Jr., Ben Bredesen, Cesar Ruiz, the junior of the group leaving, and then Michael Onwenu over there at right guard. So Jalen Mayfield being the only returning starter. They've got a lot to replace on the offensive line. And of course, Donovan Peoples-Jones at wide receiver as well is heading out the door. And at cornerback, Lavert Hill. So they've got quite a bit to replace in 2020, but with the way that they've been recruiting over the last couple cycles here, I think they've got the guys coming in to replace them at a decent clip here. I think they can actually upgrade at a few spots, believe it or not. I think quarterback can be upgraded, and I think Viper can be upgraded as well.
Von,
so lots of potential there, but we'll just have to wait and see how everything plays out in training camp.
Von, as we get closer to spring camp, we'll certainly have you back on, hopefully, to review some of those positions and do some positional previews. But as it stands right now, you mentioned a few upgrade possibilities, so you don't need to review everything. But just in regards to a couple guys that excite you who are going to be in much bigger roles this year than they were last.
Well, I'm looking forward to the quarterback, whoever it is, whether it's Joe Milton, Dylan McCaffrey. At this point, I think it's really neck and neck. I think it's going to be a really heated battle up until that first game in September against Washington at Washington. I think it's going to be real close. If it was a gun to the head situation, I'd honestly give a heads or tails coin flip as to who wins that battle. I'm looking forward to seeing the Viper position, though. Michael Barrett is a guy that I think has a load of potential at Viper, and Anthony, he's going to be a guy competing for that Viper spot as well. He was a four-star linebacker in the 2019 class, so he's going to be a redshirt freshman coming in, competing for that spot. Lots of guys on the offensive line that are going to have to replace those four starters from this past season. I really like Chuck Filiaga filling in at one of the guard spots. He's a guy that's been around the program for 3 years, I think now. It'll be going into his fourth season. So he's bound to probably get one of those spots. And lots of versatile guys on the offensive line. So some guys could fill in at a guard spot. Some guys could fill in at multiple center, guard, tackle. Andrew Stuber's a guy that's going to be coming back off injury. He could slide into guard. He could play tackle. So lots of position versatility along the offensive line. There's a lot to be excited about for 2020 Michigan football.
So there's definitely a number of guys there that you know about that have seen glimpses of on the field in meaningful minutes. There's a host coming on, of course, with the second rated recruited class in the Big Ten, number 12 in the nation, according to 247's composite. 8 early enrollees. That number seems to creep up for just about all the major powers each and every year. Some of those guys that you're excited about coming into the fold here.
Yeah, I'm excited about a few of them. Blake Corum probably being that number one guy on my spot. He's a running back. He's not like your traditional ground and pound running back. He's more of your shifty. He's kind of like a Mike Hart. You know, he can go between the tackles. He can bump it outside. He's really fast and he's small, like how Mike Hart was too. He's about 5'8", 5'9". A kid can really fly, and he's quite an impressive player. Seeing him go through the camp circuit, and he tore it up his senior season in high school. Braden McGregor is another guy I'm pretty excited about. I don't know when we're going to be able to see him because he's coming off a knee injury from his high school season. I think he only played in maybe 3 or 4 games, and then tore his ACL, and I think another few injuries there in his knee. So we'll have to see how the rehab progresses for him. But those are 2 guys that I'm really excited about filling in. McGregor being more of like an Aiden Hutchinson kind of a defensive end. He can slide inside for those pass rush situations as well. So lots to be excited about these early enrollees. It's good to get them on campus, and especially at running back with Corum. I think running back next season is going to be a real strength for Michigan with Corum coming in. Of course, Hassan Haskins and Charbonnet returning. And then you also get Chris Evans back from being suspended from the program for 1 season. So it's going to be a plethora of talent in the backfield for Michigan next year.
Yeah, hopefully McGregor can bounce back from injury. Strong side defensive end, 4th-rated player in the country at his position, number 2-rated player in the state, a top 100 player overall, regardless of position.